Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're back at Clay Pigeon Raceway then for round 3 of the IKR series. So today we are hopefully gonna have a bit of a better result. We've actually got brand new tyres on the kart. We're actually getting them fitted right now. Just about to get ready for practice actually, because I started the intro late once again. Hopefully we can have a bit of a better race this time than last time. But yeah, let's just jump straight into it and see what happens then. Alright, so boys, we're just about to go out for qualifying now. Practice was pretty decent, not too bad. It's quite slidey out there, so I'm hoping the new tyres might come in handy. Few people actually notice are on actually older tyres, so they'll be using their older tyres throughout the day. But me on brand new tyres, hopefully it go pretty decently. But yeah. So yeah, I have been on these tyres here, the older ones that I used for round 1 and round 2. And then we'll be going on in qualifying on these brand new ones, so I'll chuck them on in a bit. So yeah, let's just jump straight into it, see how it goes. On to qualifying we go then, and as you can see I decided to actually start right at the front of the pit lane, which was a big mistake of mine. Obviously on brand new tyres it was going to be very difficult to try and warm them up and actually get some grip into them. So as you can see everyone just flies around the outside of me as I'm struggling getting into the kink section there, and then towards turn 1 again I just struggle getting the car in. But luckily it does stick and we managed to get grip eventually a few laps later. The only problem I found, obviously as you can see, I'm in a bit of traffic here, so I did actually pull over to the side a little bit and try and let some people through and try and get a bit of a gap. As you can see here though, we are actually having a few issues with rain because it did start raining just as I started, well, lap 2 really, so we were going to have a little bit of problems here with a bit of a slidey track. Obviously it was already quite greasy beforehand, like I said, in practice. So yeah, it's going to be difficult to say the least, but nevertheless, here we go for my first hot lap then. Run down towards turn 1, sweeping right-hander then, just nice and smoothly there. Just a little bit of oversteer there, which isn't ideal, but into the chicane, hitting it very nicely, run out nice and wide there, run down towards the hairpin section. You want to try and kick the back end out just a little bit, just to try and help rotate the kart a little bit, and it seemed to have worked very nicely through there as we head in towards the horseshoe section very nicely. Now the sweeping right-hander, try and take it flat if you can. It should be flat, easy. Now the final corner, we do mix it up just a little bit by running the inside curb, but nevertheless that is our first hot lap at Clay then in qualifying. And obviously with the track being quite slidey, I did run into a little problem here where I absolutely lost it into the chicane and actually over the sausage curb there, which actually bent my rear axle a little bit, which was really bad actually, to say the least. And as you can see, we picked up a lot of grass on the tyres and a lot of marbles, so it's going to be a bit of a struggle for a couple laps now with grip, but nevertheless we managed to get that gone again and managed to carry on pushing for another hot lap as we ran down towards turn 1, once again taking it very nicely. As you can see, the rain's still coming down a little bit on the GoPro, so it's going to be quite slidey to say the least, and I don't think there's going to be massive amounts of improvements, but nevertheless I'll push as best as possible to see if I can make a little bit of improvement as we head in towards the horseshoe then. Once again try and take it very nicely, just avoiding the curbs there. Now taking it flat through the sweeping right-hander section up towards the final corner. This time we nail the final corner a lot better, run out nice and wide, down the start finish straight for the final time, and that is our fastest lap there of a 35.2. so I'll take that any day of the week as we finish qualifying now, and that is P8 for us, which isn't too bad out of 16. I'll take that any day. But now we head back into the pits, and now I guess we get ready for Heat 1, the first race of IKR round 3 then. So now we head on to Heat 1. Obviously I am starting on the outside because P8 is on the outside, which is going to be a bit of an issue, obviously running down towards turn 1. So hopefully I'll have a good start and maybe try and tuck into the inside before anyone gets past me. But anyway, as we head down towards the start finish straight then, to start the race we flip open the flap, which had no use anyway because it flips down during the race. But we green lights here at Clay Pigeon Raceway for Heat 1, and we have a pretty terrible start to say the least. Actually Luke Walker is just down our inside there, so I couldn't turn in at all and actually had to go out wide there, and obviously because of it he got the position easily. As we head in towards the first chicane then for the first time, getting a pretty decent exit as we try and follow Luke through here and try and keep up with him and keep up with pace. Obviously, we've got Patrick behind us right now, so that's going to be a bit of an issue. We've got 2 LPR members in front and behind us, so it's going to be difficult to try and get past them. But I will try my best to try and keep up with pace and try and maybe get around him and make a couple positions if it's possible, as we head down towards the start finish straight once again to start lap 2 of this race. And I was noticing a little bit of an issue with my car at this point. So as we're following Luke here just through the chicane section and taking it very nicely here, we were keeping pace and I was pretty happy with how the car was handling until we come down towards turn 1. I'm going to let you listen to the raw footage here. So yeah, as you can see, my foot was flat to the floor here, but for some reason the car just bogs and actually loses power there, which I don't really understand why or how it happened. But as you can see, because of it, Patrick actually gets around me down the inside into the chicane, which I was really annoyed with, obviously, because I could do nothing about it. I was foot flat to the floor and the cart was just dying on me, so there's nothing I could do there. And I was trying my best to keep it with pace, obviously knowing that there was clearly a problem with the cart. So I was thinking, right, just try and keep pace here. But again, coming out of the hairpin, it happened again. And as you can see, I lose so much time to Luke there. And that was basically race ruined at this point, because there was no chance I could keep it with pace. Me and Luke were pretty similar on pace. So with a kart problem like that, it's not going to be easy to try and catch back up now and try and get around him, but any chance, to be honest. So yeah, that kind of ruined my race. But that was the end of Heat 1 then. And I guess we have to head back to the pits and try and figure out what the problem is with my kart then, and see if we can figure it out before the pre-final then.
Getting faster. Yeah.
Alright boys, so we've had Heat 1 now. Heat 1 was pretty decent. So a bit of a shame with backfiring issues, which is a bit annoying, you might have heard on the video, but we will try better in the next one. I think I found the problem now though. I think it might have been because this flap, I open it at the beginning of the race, but then it flips down and the engine overheats a little bit, so I'm hoping that's the problem. Just about to have my lunch now from Tesco's, big mans themselves, with what's it, so yeah, hopefully pre-final go better. But let's do this. So now we move on to the pre-final. In this one, I wanted to try and do a little bit better, starting 10th on the grid. Obviously, the Heat 1 went okay, but now, without that problem, I'm hoping that I can try and do a little bit better, until in the pre-final, this actually happened. So yeah, my kart decided to just completely die on me on the formation lap, which wasn't an ideal situation because I found myself having to try and push the kart as far away from the track as possible and as close to the barrier as possible so they could actually start the race. So we figured out that it was actually the battery that had died, which is probably what was causing my backfiring issues in the Heat 1. So my little radiator box situation that I fixed probably wasn't the problem in the first place. So yeah, we dragged the car out of the way, and sadly that is our pre-final over before it even started, sadly. But now we'll head back to the pits and see if we can try and fix this battery issue and get ready for the final then. Alright boys, so we're literally just about to have a break now. So yeah, pre-final obviously broke down. Battery sadly died, so it wasn't great, but nevertheless we've changed it over now. So yeah, let's jump straight into it and see how it goes then. This is it then, the final, and obviously I'm starting P16 dead last in this race because of my battery issue dying in the pre-final. But nevertheless, we head out on track for the final time then at Clay for IKR Round 3 Sprint Series. Hopefully we can try and have a pretty decent race in this one. In this one I think I'll take it easy towards turn 1 and just go full send for the rest of it though. As we head down towards turn 1, obviously just because it's my luck, when I don't go for full send it seems to, well, no one else spins, which is a bit annoying to say the least. But we head into the chicane section for the first time then, run down towards the hairpin section, and I was thinking about trying to get past this Kart 18 as quickly as possible, as he was in a pre-evo. So I try and go around the outside, and as you can see, he actually has contact with someone there, and I've made up a couple positions from that. I think 3 of them went off, so that's 3 positions made straight away as we're going down inside of this next car then. I do have to back out of it just because he shuts the door pretty aggressively there, which isn't ideal, but nevertheless we're going to push on as we start lap 2 of this race. Obviously, like I said, already making a few positions, which is a very good job. Obviously because of our luck, not really because of an overtake, but nevertheless we head down in towards the chicane section once again, getting a really good exit compared to the Kart 6 just ahead of me. I'm going to try and go for around the outside here, try and get a good exit. Kart 6 actually gets a terrible exit here, and we're going to send it down the inside of him into the horseshoe section, and made the move stick very nicely on him, which I did not expect, to say the least, especially somehow managing to get a very good exit out of the hairpin to set that move up. But we carry on anyway as we head down the start finish straight once again. We cut to a couple laps later, and we've got Kart 20 in our sights just ahead of us there. He goes a little bit wide, and they're going to use that opportunity now, send it down the inside into the chicane section, made the move stick very nicely. Now we've got a bit of a gap between me and the Kart 28 just ahead, as Kart 20 decides to send it back down the inside, completely misses a braking point, and luckily doesn't take me along with him. But yeah, I don't really know what he was thinking there, but I guess he tried to go for it and it didn't work. A couple laps later then, we do catch up to the back of Andy Bishop, who's just ahead of us there. Kart 28 got around him a couple laps earlier, so now we got to try and get around him as quickly as possible as we send it down the inside of the chicane section once again. Seeming like we're making a few moves through that chicane section now, so maybe we could try and have a bit more guts now to just send it down the inside of there, other than just the hairpin section. Now we've got a bit of a gap once again. We're going to just go full push now to try and catch down the guys just ahead of us there. They're not too far away, so it is possible to catch them, especially that my pace is seeming a lot better than them at the moment. So now we'll cut to a couple laps later where we're stuck behind the 28 car for quite some time actually, which isn't ideal to say the least. But nevertheless, we're going to try and get around him as best as possible. Obviously, I don't want to completely take myself or him out of the race, or else all those moves that I've just previously done in the last few laps would be all for nothing. So we're going to try and take our time with this a little bit. He's seeming a bit all over the place through the horseshoe section, so that could be a good place to try and send it on him. But with him being all over the place, it's quite risky. I don't want him to slide into the side of it or anything and take us both out of the race. So we're just going to have to bite our time a little bit here and sort of just follow him, see where we can try and get an opportunity. Seeming like he's quite slow out of turn 1 and maybe the chicane section as well. So maybe we'll try and go round the outside of him here in towards the hairpin, but he just hogs the inside line once again. He goes a little bit deep, so we're going to try and go around the outside, but we're going to have to back out of that one sadly once again. Again, he goes very dodgy through the horseshoe, so we're going to have to try and get past him quickly here, or else we're just going to get blocked up for the whole race, which would not be ideal to say the least. As we head down towards the start finish straight once again to start the next lap, as we head in towards turn 1. Again, he's just sliding all over the place, and we just could have tried to make the move stick through the chicane section once again. But I guess now we have a good, point where we can try and get past him for the next lap. So we'll skip on to the next lap then, as we head down the start finish straight once again in towards turn 1. I read that he's going to go a little bit wide, so we send it down the inside of him into the chicane section once again, and that is another move made up to actually P8, which was a very good recovery drive to say the least. Obviously, we've got a bit of a gap between me and Luke just ahead of us now, which is going to be very difficult to catch down, especially that we've only really got about 6 minutes left in the race, so only half race distance left. But I'm going to push to the absolute limit all the way to the end of the race now to try and close that gap as best as possible. As you can see, I have closed it down massively through here. We're a lot more closer to him now than what we were when we just got past the Kart 28. So we've just got to keep pushing as best as possible and see what we can do. Obviously, it's coming towards the end of the race at this point. Obviously, closing the gap took some time, so I don't think it's going to be possible at this point running through towards the final corner now. As we're about to start the final lap, I just don't think we're going to be able to get it, sadly, as we can see the last lap board held out now. So I think we tried our best, but I don't really think we're going to be able to get him now, which is a massive shame to say the least. But nevertheless, we pushed nicely, made some massive improvements, and made some incredible moves throughout this race, going from P16 dead last to P8, which wasn't a bad effort at all. And coming through here on the final lap, I was actually noticing that my car was backfiring once again. As you can see, I don't really know what was going on here, and it actually just started losing power and I actually decided to bring it into the pits because I didn't really want to actually get stuck. I don't even know if I would have made it to the line, so that was a massive shame to say the least, but I guess that was our race over. So that's the end of the video then. Sadly, obviously, the results just wasn't there for us that weekend. The racing was definitely a lot of fun. We've managed to make an incredible comeback in the final. Sadly, bad luck just outweighed that incredible comeback, but what can you do? Sadly, luck was not on our side that time. But I'm going to leave this video here. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to like and subscribe. But thank you for watching, and goodbye.